Hey everyone. The topic of this week has without a doubt been education and teachers. We know that the legislature was called into special session by the governor this week, and the call that he issued really related only to income tax cuts, state income tax cuts. Democrats in Arkansas have proposed teacher raises to help educators across the state a little bit financially. Now, that's got met with some pushback from Republicans in the House and Senate who have suggested having only one-time bonuses. So it's the issue of the day is about how we value education, how we value our educators, and what our priorities really are as a state. So I thought it would be appropriate and interesting to visit with my parents. This is Joe Gibson and Janice Gibson, my mom and dad. And I thought we'd have a little fireside chat. The fireplace is right back there. We're going to have a little fireside chat about education. So I'll start with Dad. You want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit how you got into education, what grade you taught? And
You bet. I'm Joe Gibson, of course, Jesse's father, and a lifelong educator, basically. Got into the classroom, probably a quarter century I spent in the classroom, and have been retired about as long. But moving to Arkansas from the military over 50 years ago and finding our place here on Bull Shoals, it was an obvious choice of a good job at the time. And it was a good job at the time, and really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, Mom, go ahead and introduce yourself, Mom, and tell us a little bit about how you got into teaching and what grade you teach for your time?
I taught mainly 5th and 6th, but in middle school, mostly all subjects in the rural school of Bergman, which is near Lead Hill here.
Okay. Mom?
Okay, I'm Janice Gibson. I actually kind of fell into teaching. My first year at college, I did not want to be a teacher because my mother was a teacher. Did not have a good year. Did a lot of thinking and contemplating over the summer, and had some really wonderful experiences with small children at church. So, and I came back to school, got my undergraduate, and taught I just loved it. I love the aha moments for kids, and to actually see children progress and interact with them and try to do the best that I could for those children.
And how long were you in the classroom?
I was in the classroom 25 years.
Okay, so but you were involved in education even after the classroom, correct?
Right. I was a literacy specialist for the state at the co-op here in this area. I was 10 years and that was another wonderful, wonderful experience. You just take teaching from children to teaching to adults. It's a little different, but it kept me in the classroom too, because we would go into classrooms and work with children. So,
what's one thing that you really liked about being a teacher, and one thing that was difficult on you?
Oh, the student interaction for sure. If it wasn't for the kids, it wouldn't have been any fun. Probably parents who wanted to get more involved than they probably should have was probably one discouraging aspect, and the low pay for a long time, of course. It's such an important job that we, of course, do need more money.
Yeah, it was helpful to have that parent at home really stress education, because that's not universal. I'm sure y'all had students that, they didn't have the blessings that I had with not only parents who were teachers who could help out at home, but also who made me understand that was an important priority. I think that was a blessing that I had and Buck had that a lot of kids don't have. I'm sure y'all had some of those kids.
Well, you bet.
And it's really hard on the children too, because yes, we can teach and we can help them, but there is a certain motivation from the family. And don't get me wrong, I took it very personally to really help each child, but sometimes, it was harder.
So one of the things right now that I mentioned in the intro is the desire by Democrats in the House and Senate to increase base teacher pay, because we are not competitive compared to our surrounding states. Now, the thing that really hit home to me was when I was driving with kids out in West Little Rock, and there was one of those electric billboards that changes, and we were parked at a stoplight, and up on it flashed. It was an advertisement to come to Texas and teach, and it just showed that, we offer teachers this, Arkansas pays teachers that, and it was $10,000-$15,000 more a year, and I thought, this is going to be a big thing. This is going to be something that's going to be on everyone's mind. And it really hit me really hard, just seeing that stark contrast in pay. So tell me what you think, Mom, about this effort right now to pay teachers a more living wage. Kind of give me your thoughts and your input.
Well, my thought, when we started teaching, Dad and I, the pay was very low. And through the government increasing in the state, we reached a level of all the states around us. And my basic view is that money, teachers need to be paid a living wage for not only their education and their work. And everybody says, oh, well, they're at home at 4 or something. But that's not true. There's work at home. And to me, the investment on teachers to help children would benefit our whole state, not even just exponentially. And I know there's talk about tax breaks for upper echelon, but we were right here with our children, and there are teachers that are leaving in droves now, and it was difficult to have. We were very fortunate, we both had full-time jobs, but y'all did without sometimes.
We did. Tell me what you think about increased pay for teachers.
Well, it's definitely necessary because of the importance that the teachers have with the families, with the students, and the jobs they do. Not to mention the security problems that we're having anymore, the responsibilities, the extra stuff that are laid on teachers. They deserve as much as they can get, right. And they deserve it.
Well, what about, there's something that's hung over the head of public education in Arkansas for a long, long time is charter schools. Yeah. What do you think about the charter schools? I know it's not. It's different in Little Rock than it is in Lead Hill. But
I'm not real familiar with all of it, but I do know that public schools are where the most benefit comes. I'm thinking charter schools will take away from the public situation.
I agree. They take money away from public education. To me, that's what our democracy is based on, is mass education, well-educated individuals.
There's so many things that are impacting our schools right now, and things are, to me, the one of the things that Dad touched on is almost like heaping the responsibilities on teachers to be an educator, a therapist, a security guard, an interior decorator. Like at a lot of schools when I was driving on 65, and some of them are starting school Monday, and teachers are already in those rooms decorating, getting them ready.
Well, and they have been for several weeks.
The thing that bothers me is so often A, they're not being paid for that, and B, they're having to purchase their own supplies. So it's all a matter of priorities, right? What do we prioritize in our state? Right now we do have a 1.6 billion, it's billion with a B, surplus. We wanted to just address a couple of issues about education, since there's so many things going on in the legislature, public policy debates about education, where we value education, and where we put our dollar, because platitudes are ineffective.
Nice.
Where you put your budgetary eggs in what basket is where the rubber meets the road. So appreciate you guys. I love you both. Glad I could come by and say hello and get your views and
get some dinner.
We ate dinner with Mom and Dad tonight, and like I say, the Fireside Chat.
Just pay those teachers.
Pay those teachers. Jesse Gibson for Arkansas.com. Sure hope to listen to any feedback or input you might have. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.